Hey, this is Notser, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mogador. This is the Tier 9 French destroyer. We are on the map Land of Fire, and this is a crazy, close, competitive carry game. I wanted to walk through it, talk about my build, so that you guys who are just picking up your French DDs will have a better direction to follow. This is the most up-to-date information as of July 27th, and this was a crazy game. So my build is on the screen right now. I do get increased rate of fire. I have the speed boost duration in slot 2 of the modules. I also have radiolocation concealment, last stand, expert marksman, because the turrets traverse very slowly, and then also basic firing training. Now, the Mogador, what is she good at? Well, she's good at a little bit of everything. She's very fast. With speed boost, you can reach right about 52, 54 knots with a speed signal flag. Highly recommend you go as fast as possible. That is your mitigation. That is your goal as a French DD. It's not to park yourself behind an island and fire over it and limit the line of sight game. Your job is to assassinate DDs with your guns and main battery reload. And speak of the devil, we get a gearing right broadside with us. We do clearly more damage to him than he does to us, so it's going to cause him to have to retreat. A little bit of a bonus right here, and plus the island itself is going to block incoming line of sight or shells itself. So this is a good little first start. Now, I didn't choose to use my main battery because I didn't feel like I would have the full duration to assassinate the gearing. I did choose to use my speed boost, and there's a couple reasons why. Because the duration is so long, 4.5 minutes, with the speed boost module that increases the duration by 50%, it's a godsend to dodging, spotting, running away, playing the objective. It gives you so much power over the map to have this kind of response in your engine. I highly recommend you trying to make full use of it as frequently as possible. Now, we obviously spawned near C point. There's a Minotaur over by C right now, and I noticed that something was firing from behind the island. It's a Worcester. And what I like to do, and what I've tried to incorporate in my game, since really adopting the CV as a possible class for me to play, I like to position myself so that I have direct line of sight with enemies that are trying to fire over islands. And the reason being that I can keep them spotted, so hopefully my teammates who were actively taking damage can return the favor. And normally they really enjoy returning the favor. I don't have to work very hard to get people to focus those types of ships. But I recognize, this Iowa kind of moving forward, there was an opportunity maybe to get in position to use my torpedoes. Now, this is probably not new to many of you who have played the French DDs, but there are still some players who just don't really take full advantage of the torpedo systems because they're very risky. You have to get very close and be very vulnerable for that time window. But you must make use of these torpedoes because these torpedoes move very quickly and they do a lot of damage. Similar to the Germans, they should be incorporated in your basic play. That's how you keep pace with other ships and their output. It's not just gunfiring the whole time. Now, I decided, pause for a little bit, keep the Worcester spotted still. They're firing against the Iowa very effectively. But I really wanted to try and move towards C point, maybe assist with spotting the Minotaur, and I really want to kill the gearing. Now we're going to just take a quick shot at the Iowa, knowing full well there's nothing in line of sight. Nothing could possibly spot that shot, and that is a free shot. You want to try and incorporate free shots into your game if all possible, but do not do it unless you're absolutely confident that you won't be spotted, because good players will return the favor far quicker than maybe you're prepared for. So we're going to retreat back towards C point. I know full well that there's a Minotaur. I don't want to deal with the Minotaur. The Minotaur will eat me for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Even at the speed. I mean, clearly we're hitting 52, 53 knots. With the speed, though, you can get across the map before the enemy is really ready for your counterplay. And sure enough, we are able to catch sight of the Minotaur as he's leaving the safety of his smoke. And, oh, looky there, we have a gearing as well. Apparently both of these guys were openly firing in the smoke. That's a mistake. when someone could be close, you really need to try and time out your smoke dissipation so that you're not openly firing. And I'm just playing with my throttle. I'm trying to stay right at 7.1, 7.3 so that I can keep the Minotaur spotted, possibly the gearing. Obviously, I do a quick check to verify that the Worcester and the Iowa is not in range. Now, this might be a slightly different build because I'm using relocation versus advanced firing training. If I had advanced firing training in that precise moment, I would have bloomed out, the Iowa would have detected me, and I wouldn't have been able to get this much closer to the gearing without them realizing what I was trying to do. But because I didn't extend the range of the guns all that much, I was able to freely fire over that island and still make contact with the Minotaur. But we're really here to do one thing. We're here to kill the gearing. And I would love to kill the gearing. I am, however, in the capture point. Now, if you look at the game, it's not looking too good. The enemy team has 3 bases, and they have a 2-ship advantage. How in the hell are we going to come back from this? Now, I could decide to stay in the cap and complete the capture, but I know what the French are good at. They are good at chasing down targets and killing them in the most vulnerable state. And I think this gearing is in a very vulnerable state. The Worcester should be back over by the island. The Iowa clearly fully retreated. And the nearest friendlies are over by B point. So I feel very confident, even though I don't have speed boost, that I can catch this guy and kill him with main battery reload. And, oh, Willie, would you look at there? We've got a black right off our bow in the most crazy position, clearly using his radar. If it's not the black, it's the Worcester. Either way, we need to move through here. And oh yeah, it's the gearing, all right. And I'm only going to really have a chance to use my front guns. I'm completely vulnerable to torpedoes. But it does look like he doesn't have torpedoes available. And he's just trying to run away. But you can't run away from this. And yes, I did choose to use third person. Doesn't really need an accurate shot. Plus it's keeping a view ready for possible torpedoes to potentially dodge. We are spotted by these ships, but they're not looking at us because priority target is not telling me. So I can complete this and decide if I want to continue forward. Notice we still don't have C point, and these ships are still alive. So I really do feel... Oh no. Oh, is this going to be a hard Notser? Oh, we're scraping the side. Oh, just the tail. We're able to clear it. There is a Yoshino that is on the inside of us, but we do have friendlies dealing with him, and I want to try and contribute. But the Yoshino, he is perfectly broadside to the friendly Des Moines at C point, and Des Moines makes quick work of ships. So, we have equalized the ship count, but we haven't equalized the points, and there's a cyclone that has taken hold. Now, there hasn't been many situations where I've played French DDs in a cyclone. They have basically 1-to-1 concealment. But what they have as an advantage, coupling with radiolocation, is I can sail directly towards the target that is keeping me spotted. And oh man, Montana and the North Carolina ram each other. The West has fallen. The JB takes out the Worcester. Domino effect of all these ships. We still don't have anywhere near the points we need. I'm, telling teammates, capture C, let's capture B. But using radiolocation with the speed boost, you have no issue catching up to whatever may be keeping you spotted. If it's a DD, main battery it down. If it's a cruiser or a battleship, you can run away from it. I really enjoy radiolocation because it is directing my aggression and my acceleration towards the direction I need to go. It works incredibly well for French DDs because of the speed. And the daring takes out the gearing. Entire west flank is gone. We will, however, capture B point, but this is just awful, right? If we lose 2 ships, the game's over. 2.5 ships, it's over. I have to try my best, and I'm honking at him. I'm telling him I want this position. I need to be out front. I need to be in a position where I can set the tone. And there could be a Des Moines coming up, and oh yeah, of course, I'm expecting radar. When is he going to radar? JB just finished the Iowa, so that's a good pickup for us. We still have to deal with all the incoming ships. So far, only the Des Moines. Because it's only the Des Moines, I'm going to take full advantage of it. I have to engage with the Yoshino. I did send my torpedoes with the expectation that he would continue his momentum, but clearly he's cut his engines. He's just stationary. He's trying to catch up with his teammates. There is obviously a Soyuz battleship right next to him that I can't see, but the Yoshino can. And I just want to take full advantage of the fact that I can help against the Des Moines. I choose to use my main battery reload here, and the reason being, radio location is pointed directly at him, and he needs to die. I don't know where the daring is, but I need to try and contribute enough so he can die. And of course, the Des Moines was backing up as well. I was moving, the other way. We sort of spread out at the worst possible moment. And then, of course, radio location, the worst thing happens. It switches attention to something else on approach. And you know what that something else must be. It's either the Kremlin or it's the daring. I'm spotted, but I'm not spotted by the battleship. It is something else, and I am so afraid of what this is, and yep, it's the daring. He decides to open up at 5.7 kilometers. Kind of brave. Kind of a brave boy when he opens up like that, because he does not have, apparently, IFHE. He's using AP, and AP is not going to work against the angling that I'm presenting. I am trying my best to minimize the type of damage he is able to put towards me. And we're doing a pretty good job. He started out with more health. We don't have main battery reload. I do choose to send my torpedoes. They have a really quick reload. And we are absolutely kicking this guy's butt. And you're not supposed to be able to do this without main battery reload. He just misplayed it. He separated himself too much. I was able to minimize most of the incoming shells. I did take a little bit of damage there, but we finished him off in a pretty timely manner. And, of course, right as the daring is killed, the Kremlin shows up. The Soyuz is also here, and the Kremlin just barely misses the torpedoes that I sent initially for the daring. And we find ourselves in a really interesting position. We're holding the corner. We are clearly within concealment detection with the Kremlin, and if he decides to move forward, well, he will detect us. We have about 25 seconds before I can use torpedoes on this side. I could decide, go against the Soyuz. I'm not going to open fire, though. I want to have the ambush. French DDs ambush battleships better than any other torpedo boat in the game. I didn't stutter. I didn't miscommunicate. That is absolute fact. The reload, the speed, the performance of these torpedoes is worth using, incorporating in your basic play. If you're not using your French torpedoes, you're missing out on a critical characteristic that helps you win. So we sort of wait out the team. Des Moines holds the line long enough that the torpedoes can reload. They have a pretty quick reload. And we send them against the Kremlin. And this Kremlin is going exactly where we predicted with the torpedoes. Looks like we're going to hit 4 of 5, which is outstanding. We're going to cause 2 floods, and 4 torpedoes make contact. Now, I don't know if the floods will stick. It looks like they don't. He uses damage control. But because he's engaged, and because we're behind, and because it's a Des Moines, I need to help. The Kremlin can overmatch all of his front armor, and I don't want that to happen. So we're going to go on him. The Soyuz gets the JB as he's trying to come in. We have 1 fire on him. The Kremlin's guns are in the worst possible position. 30 seconds is not going to save you. This is going to happen very quickly. I did decide to use my main battery reload to speed up the process, and boy did it pay off, because we got 2 fires early. He couldn't use damage control, and we're going to finish off before he even gets a shell off. And now it's only 1. 2 versus 1. We still have a deficit, so we still need to get a win. But 2 versus 1 is far easier than 1 versus 2, clearly. And, yep, sure enough, the Soyuz is here. He decides to fire. Hard brake, hard brake, hard brake turn. Incorporate a lot of hard brake turns whenever you see people firing. You have the French speed boost. It improves the responsiveness of your engine as well. So you can really feather your throttle to be a stationary target, full speed, a quarter speed, half speed, and that will really help people throw off their shots, or force them to throw off their shots. But it's toe-to-toe. Teammates are like, ram him! Get the win! And I'm like, Oh no, he just shot him. I have to actually kill this guy now by myself. And we get a second fire. His back gun fires, angle, and you have to decide in the moment whether your speed will carry you through it or you should pause. But we're able to get him. 2 fires on him. He couldn't put them out. And the comeback is complete. I don't know if we could have won that game if I wasn't so persistent early on to get some kills, because teammates were dropping like flies. But we did it. We accomplished the carry. 4 kills, 2,440 base XP. The JB and the Des Moines also contributed a lot to the win and comeback. Couldn't have done it without them. And we made full use of the French tools. If you use them well, the French DDs are very scary. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to check out more of my content, you can click the most recent and the most relevant uploads. You could also choose to subscribe to my channel. We do daily World of Warship videos, first impression, how-to, news, review related. You could also use my North American recruit invite, which is on the screen. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.